lives of people? Me or the president and commander-in-chief? The opposition must do better. And that is why, look, all of this talk we are having is partly because the opposition have decided not to take themselves seriously. If the opposition unite and ensure that you give your ticket to a popular candidate and everybody works, President Tinubu will, they know that that defeat is imminent. Everything you are seeing is in panic mode. When you see a ruling party who has done so much,
even with all of this, the swelling in the political atmosphere, you see the city boy movement.
Yes, township girls and everybody.
You see the president's son is mobilizing a lot of young people. The governors in the APC, they've started the renewed hope agenda movement, and you've seen a lot of the movement. The swelling is there. You see more activity. How do you think? And they've done a lot of digital membership registration of their party. They look more serious. It looks like the opposition itself is not serious.
The power of the people will always prevail if they unite and act decisively. Everything that the ruling party is doing is what is good. You use the word swell because the APC has been swelling and it's not growing. And you know that when you swell, there is a tendency that you will implode. When you talk about the president's son and all of that, these are part of the issues that will be interrogated by the campaigns and the Nigerian people. This is the first administration we have in Nigeria. When Nigeria, it is like you go for a Black Friday market. That is what the Tinubu presidency is like. When you buy one and you get 3 free. So when INEC gives you the father as the president of the country, you then deal with the office of the wife, you deal with the office of the first son, you deal with the office of first daughter, you might even have office of the extended family members. Up to the extent that it became so bad that Professor Wole Soyinka, who is also a friend to the president, President Tinubu, said he saw the security that was with the president's son. Professor Wole Soyinka had to call somebody in the presidency and said, what is going on? That the military that President Tinubu sent to quell tensions in Benin Republic were unnecessary. That the security he saw alone with the president's son would have been enough to stabilize Benin Republic. Professor Wole Soyinka, the military, the security with the president's son. Do you know that within 7 months in 2024, Nigeria spent more than 1 billion on forex and travel of the office of the First Lady alone? President Tinubu within 2 years has spent more than 38 billion on forex or presidential travel. So President Tinubu spent 38 billion to travel to foreign countries only to import poverty. Because guess what? Today, more than 7.2 million small and medium-scale enterprises have crumbled in Nigeria under the weight of the economic reforms of the master strategy. You push more people into poverty, but guess what makes our own poverty very peculiar and unique? It is a taxable poverty. So you see 140 million people in poverty. The plan is not to pull them out of poverty. It is not to end insecurity and increase production. It is to tax and levy them. So for us, the ruling party can continue the masquerade dance and the charade. Nigerians must wake up and mobilize. Realize that the odds are stacked against you. In Nigeria, it is strong men that work and not strong institutions. So there is a tendency for you to feel despondent, but you do not because there is no other option. Today's victims were yesterday's survivors. Tomorrow's victims will be today's survivors. Bad governance does not exist in a vacuum. We are the collateral. Once the people unite and say, this is what we want, Nigeria has more than 60% youth population. You can decide an election. Everything that you are seeing is a shadow that is to threaten and frighten everybody, to say, oh, it has been taken. Biologically, even the president is frail. The personal physical stamina that is needed to govern a country like Nigeria is absent in this government. Look at the outing in Turkey. Nigerian APC people are standing on a mandate that is collapsing. That is where Nigeria is today. President Tinubu should be fair to himself. You have lived to a good old age. What has God not given yourself and your family? A former governor, senator, your wife is senator. At what point do you say you should make sacrifice for the country to move forward? Where you allow young persons with the mental agility. Old age is not a curse, it's a blessing. Why the desperation? To hold on to power at all means. President Tinubu left. America came and dropped bombs in Nigeria in December 2025 on Christmas Day. 2 days after that, the president jetted out of the country to France. Spent a total in January of about 27 days. He came back on the 17th, then left to Turkey without addressing Nigerians about what exactly is happening between the US and Nigeria. Guess what? It was while the president was in France, Nigerians then heard that you gave the second highest national honors, GCON, to your personal friend, Mr. Gilbert Shogri, a convicted money launderer in the United States, who was also convicted for aiding a criminal organization. What a country. Is this a precedent? Is this